green lights come on. Put your hand underneath. And that's it. How cool is that?
That is so good.
This little package is amazing, and it comes in this little pouch as well, little battery, dual battery charger, and then this. Oh, this is so cool. So this is the Hover Air X1. Such an amazing piece of technology. Basically, it's a fun drone. It's a drone with up to 2.7K 60 FPS camera. It's 125 grams. It can fly for just over 10 minutes. It's absolutely amazing and has got all sorts of clever little bits of trick inside, so it can follow you around, whether you're cycling, walking, or running around, or just want to take some holiday snaps. This piece of kit is going to be a game changer, and it'll pretty much change the way that I make films. Essentially, it's like having a film crew follow you around. You can do everything. Now, the biggest thing about it is that you don't need a controller. You simply switch it on, and it just takes a couple of seconds. You can get a nice little tune.
Custom dolly track.
Dolly track means it's going to follow me.
Continue dolly track.
And then it takes off, and that's it. And then if you want it to land, just hold out your hand and it lands in your hand. Now, to help this little guy track you and do all its clever little stuff, make sure that you're in a nice sunlit area, or that it's daylight, so that it can see you, and the quality of the camera and its sensors and all that kind of thing are all working okay. And also make sure it's not windy as well. So it needs to be able to fly, around you and everything else. It's got no way of knowing where it took off from. So if there is a very strong wind and it takes it, it's not going to be able to get back to you. So you just need to make sure that when you do fly it, that it's not very windy. It can cope with like little sort of like, bits of a breeze or whatever, but not mega sort of like gusts of wind. So it can handle a little bit of movement of wind, but yeah, just make sure it's not really windy. So always make sure that you've got the right to fly where you're flying, make sure it's not over people, always comply with local laws, etc, etc. Now, in accordance with the manufacturer's specifications on this, do not fly over water, because that sensor gets a little bit confused and it doesn't know where it can land or where it can take off. And try not to fly it off the edge of cliffs or anything, for the same reason that it needs to know where it took off from, and therefore as it moves around it thinks that everywhere under that is the same height and it'll return back. So just bear that in mind. Now, it's obviously got these prop guards around it, so if it does ever collide with anything, it won't harm anything. So this is the clever bit. There's no collision avoidance or anything like that. It's obviously got a front camera and a downward facing camera and sensor, so that it knows the palm of your hand, or it knows what sort of surface it's over as well. So it actually uses all the cameras it's got to visualize what's going on around it, and then the computer controls the movement of the drone. It's absolutely amazing and so clever. To get flying is so simple. You just simply connect the battery, which goes in one way, snaps in place. You unfold the wings so that the drone has its sides both out, and then by pressing the big button with the white circle in the middle for about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds, it then powers on, and you'll see it'll move the camera up and down and flash the light, and then it'll confirm it's ready to go. Next one is selecting the different flight modes. So you can do this by pressing the black button in the middle, and I'll just go through the different modes now with you very briefly, just so you know what each of those modes does, and also how to select them using the button on the drone. You can also adjust each of the modes by pressing and holding the black button in that mode to adjust how far away it's going to fly from you. For example, 10 feet, 16 feet, 30 feet, and that's controllable this way. You can do this in the app, and I'll cover the app shortly, but this is how you do it just straight out of the drone.
Custom. Dolly track. Hover. 30 seconds. Hover. 60 seconds. Hover. 5 minutes. Hover. Continue. Hover. Zoom out. Follow.
And if you set it off
50 feet. Bird eye.
and you think, oh no, I want to stop it, just press the button again and it'll stop it before it takes off. So don't worry about that. Very intuitive. So there are 5 modes that are pre-programmed in there, and each of those 5 modes has the option to change the parameters slightly, how it's going to fly away from you or how long it's going to follow you for. So these modes are orbit, follow, which is from behind, reveal, which is where it flies away from you and upwards, overhead, which is where it'll fly straight up over the top of you, and hover mode. So in some of these modes, it'll also take a photo. So in the reveal mode, it'll fly away from you, stop at the distance that you've set, take a few photos, and then start recording the video again and come back towards you. In overhead, it'll set off, go to the height that you've set, it'll be recording, and then it'll get to that height, take some photos, and then start recording again and come back to you. We've also got a custom button there, so you can have it do custom things. I've got mine on forward face, so it will face me and track me from the front.
Continue. Dolly track. Please hold the device to face the user.
So the way the system knows what to do and who to track is the first time you use it, the camera needs to look at your face, and then it knows where it's supposed to go and who it's supposed to track. And to steer the drone as it's facing you, you need to turn your head and shoulders to the left or the right to steer the drone towards your left or your right. And this works whether you're cycling or walking. It recognizes where you're moving the top of your body towards, and it adjusts its flight path accordingly. You think, well, how am I going to get the drone back? Because every time I go towards it, it'll fly away. You simply stop. And you'll know when it's detected you're stopping, because the red light will shut off on the front, it'll go green and it'll fly back towards you, and it'll then want to land in the palm of your hand. Set it in dolly mode and then start moving forward gently until it starts to detect you moving forward, and then you can increase. I mean, I've been riding on my bike up to like sort of maybe 10 miles an hour and it's still all right, it'll still follow me. Obviously it can only follow people, so it can't follow a car or a van or anything like that in follow mode, just people. So it's perfect for out for a walk, hiking, biking, you know, don't know about skiing, you might be going a bit too fast, but you get my drift anyway. Person doing sort of average person things. For me, the brilliant thing is I can record myself. so I can go out for a bike ride and I can have the camera follow me from behind to give a perspective view of what I'm doing or where I am, or following at the front so you get a nice close-up shot of my face as I'm being covered in mud or flies or whatever. But I just think it's fantastic that it fits in my pocket. It's so small and tiny, and yeah, I can bring you guys along to hopefully experience as much as you can on the TV, but hopefully experience everything I experienced as well. So you get this little adapter to charge both batteries off USB-C, and you get this nice little bag as well. They both fit in the bag, and you can fit it in your pocket. How easy is that? Obviously there's an app for your phone. It links up via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, and then you can very simply and easily download the content that's recorded here into your phone. Now you do actually have to use the app on general flight mode a few times before you can unlock these skills, which are for manual control and snapshots and dolly track. So just to bear in mind that if you don't see them straight away in the modes on the app, that yeah, you just go into modes and you'll probably have to unlock them. I think they do that just so that it gets you used to using the drone and understanding what it's doing before they let you free on flying it manually. And yes, you can fly it manually. It connects over Wi-Fi, so obviously it's got a distance that is going to be absolutely controlled by the strength of the Wi-Fi signal, and from what I found, it's around about 50 feet away, thereabouts. That's how far it'll sort of fly up into the sky away from you. So yeah, just thought I'd have a bit of a play and fly through my van just to test out how good it is. It was very good at avoiding things in the van, so it would stop when it came close to something, like it knew that it couldn't fly past that, and that gave me a little bit of reassurance that, you know, it will actually help itself not to crash into things. And yeah, overall, using Wi-Fi over the app, you know, sort of on-screen controller to control forward, backwards, left and right, or pitch left, pitch right. And then obviously you've also got the option of controlling the gimbal as well. So yeah, it's pretty cool via the app to control it manually. So let's talk about the camera. So it's got a gimbal that can control the pitch, but the gimbal cannot control what the axis of, you know, sort of left and right or whatever's doing. The software controls that, and it does a really good job as well. Doesn't have any expandable memory, there's no sort of micro SD card or anything like that. It's all internal, and it's 32 gig. So I've been recording now for about a month, and I'll go out, I'll take both batteries with me, I'll have a play, I'll recharge them because they're really easy to recharge. It's just USB-C, and with this little adapter for both of them, it'll recharge them back up in no time, just a couple of hours. So I'll be out filming all day, messing around. On average that takes about 14 gig, and I'm doing all the modes, I'm flying for ages, I've got it following me for ages. So 32 gig is more than enough to record everything you want to record. Just switched it off, and then yeah, pack it away, shove it in your pocket, and yeah, you're off. It's that simple. So yeah, I've been flying with this now for about a month. I think it's absolutely fantastic. I've got some great shots out of it. It's just so cool, and I think it's, well, it's perfect certainly for this type of stuff, for making little vlog videos and you know, reviews or holiday snaps where you just want a little bit of a view of what's going on. You don't need to fly, you know, hundreds of feet high or anything like that. So if you've got any questions, obviously leave them in the comments section down below, and I will put a link as well in the video description where you can go and buy yours. So thanks for watching my review. I just think this is absolutely fantastic. It's going to obviously change the way that I film. It's like having another person following you around all the time. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, such great quality images, easy to use, like I say, with a good app as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and you'll see this little guy no doubt very soon, or you'll know that it's there because I'll be on my own and it'll be recording me. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you soon. Bye.